saw last stage when G2 slapped Vitality silly.
You know what? I just want to see G2 existing again in the server for this game day. That would be great. Let's take a look at the map ban, please. I swear to God.
You're gonna like this one.
No, don't tell me. Please.
Of course it is.
Why?
I can tell you why. I got some stats. See, this,
I like where this is going.
It's been a pretty heavily banned one for G2 overall. I got 12 bans in the recent history, but if you look back at some of the times that they've played it, you know, convincing wins in GSA and convincing losses in GSA, but nothing so much in like the EUL. And we only saw it the once, as Alems mentioned in the major from these guys where they did lose it. So I feel like Vitality don't have a lot of serious info into what G2 want to do with this because it's been banned so much by them, and most of their games were in GSA where G2 wouldn't have been pulling out deeply.
No, G2 had like 1 or 2 players even in replacement for those games. Some of them were like they were not great at all, I can tell you that. So yeah, I would definitely not use those.
Also, you kind of... I think that G2 almost had an advantage to be able to swing the influence in the map ban system because you know that Vitality are going to ban Coastline and Consulate. You just know they are. That's already 2 of their slots that have been taken, which means, okay, they pick Villa for the last one. G2 then have a lot of control in what those other maps are. So really... sending it to, or not going to Oregon would have had to have meant that Vitality banned Oregon as their last one.
Okay, let's see what we all think about this game. Our votes are in. Let's see what the tally looks like. Socials. You can all vote on these games. Again, social media, 65% for G2, 30% for Vitality, and a 5% draw rate. What did we all think about all of this? Let's bring it up. I like accountability. All of us. There it is. What?
What are you doing?
Catch
What are you doing, guys?
Ketchup time, baby! This is ketchup!
Chat, I hope you're jamming.
Alright.
I swear to God,
Gotta be jamming right now.
I swear to God, chat, if I see one more cat jam in chat, I'm just out of here.
Hey.
Hello. Here he is.
I'm back.
There it is.
Yo,
Hi.
We're all going for G.
Josh?
Wait a second.
69%. I did it. That's it. That's
Nice.
all I'm here to say.
Did
And
it.
now I'm
Nice.
done. Now I can go. All right, thank you.
Bye, Jess.
Bye.
Your career ends here. Pretty much it. I think that's fair enough. But you know what, Gio? I know Vitality fangirl for this one. 7-foot queen, 8-foot queen,
I?
9-foot queen. Depends. I mean, here you are. You voted for them. Everybody went for G2.
I'm being contentious, I know. I think, you know, part of it is G2 obviously didn't have a very good day the other day, and I do think G2 are a fantastic team who have full well the ability to win this game, and that's why we're making fun of them so much. But actually, I'm so intrigued by the improvements that Vitality have made that I don't want to call it and say, oh, it's obviously G2. I have fallen into the trap before where I have picked the obvious winner and been very much, you know, thrown to the side of the road and proven wrong. And so I figured if I'm going to make the risk to back the underdog, I'm doing it on this game.
Look,
now.
you know what?
And how's it going for you?
Well, how about you?
Beep 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 beep. We can't show that on stream. All right, you know what? Let's go. Let's actually kick it down to game. Jess
I'll be laughing.
Hap, I'm told you're the ones that are casting this one. So you know what? Enjoy yet another Oregon.
Thank you. Thank you a lot.
no.
You better be putting that one on Reddit as well, Jess.
You know what?
It's
The
good for-
last
it's
time
good
you
for
put the
karma.
69 on Reddit and you just got all of that karma, I said to myself, you know, I can't do it again because then I'd be copying you and everything like that. So what I plan on doing instead is by the end of the season, beating you, putting it on Reddit and showing how much of a loser you are compared to me. That's it.
And just wait. Don't worry. It's gonna be all right. You know. I'm just climbing up steadily with 1% every time I have something right. And every time you have something wrong, you drop down like 4 or 5. So I mean, for every one game you have right, I need to have 5. But for every one game you have wrong, I need to have 5 wrong.
Well, we're on to Oregon again, which is a bit of a shame because everyone loves a little bit of variety, but that's not what we're going to get here. But what I think we will get this game, Hap, is a variety in playstyles. Last Oregon on last game, we saw a really one-dimensional push from Empire over and over and over again. I think with these two teams, we might see a bit of a mix-up.
Could see a bit of a mix-up indeed. And we're also going to get to see whether or not G2's a bit of a slip against Secret. Is indeed just a slip, or if it's a structural issue they got themselves into. Whilst Vitality, they seem to be on the rise. Let's see if they can keep that up.
It's almost as if G2's taken this very sharp downward trajectory, and then Vitality has just taken this upward trajectory. So we're seeing two completely different teams at completely different opposite ends of the spectrum at the moment, which is kind of cool. But we're seeing yet again another Maverick Thatcher ban. We saw this the other day as well. And this forces Akali, it forces other ways to deal with Kaids, because undoubtedly without a Kaid ban, you'll see it being played. And so now you have to be a bit more creative. We saw, I think it was Virtue, who played Carly almost every single round on attack on Cafe last Playday, and that didn't really work out for him. So hopefully it works out better this time.
We're going to have to hope for it. Also like the One My ban to come out. Now, I'm afraid that we're going to see some Yings again to come in. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that is going to be the case. Of course, not now, but in the next half. So first, it's going to be up to G2 to go onto that attack, bring the Ace as the only Heart Breacher. Not a Twitch, for example, in case... Well, I mean, we're going top floor first, so it's not really that big of a deal. And indeed, there is the Kali, Jess.
Virtue back on it. I pray that he has a better performance on it this time. I mean, there's only really up from here, if you ask me, so he can't really do as poorly as he did on Cafe. And I don't think that was through any fault of his own. You put on such a particular operator like Carly, her job is to be able to get those wall denial off, to get shields, to destroy things. Her lances are so powerful, but her weaponry is what brings her back oftentimes, secondary of the SPS MG9. It's great, but it's got a small mag. You're not an entry player. You have a specific job, so you need people alive around you.
You definitely need them alive around you, as we're looking at the setup here. Now, we've often seen shields being put down in that exact position we just saw.
What?
But often it... What?
Oh, they don't want to go... Okay, so what Rise was telling him...
to be honest.
Yeah, is that he doesn't want to explode when he's sitting behind the shield, which is fair enough.
And I like the second position better, just at the bottom of attic, of course. If that one pops, they're not going to be able to drop down into the lower level. Just going to be buying some extra time there. So, yeah, better positioning here for the Goyo shield compared to the normal shield. I have to totally agree with that.
Well, looks like Citizen will be on the Ash this time. And Virtue, he'll need to get into Big Tower very quickly. They had pre-placed drones, so they know it's clear. They can get on in very quickly within the first 30 seconds. And then Virtue's job will be to help them open up that wall. I highly doubt they'll be able to trick it very well, especially if they go underneath and they open up the soft part of meeting, exactly where... Who's standing on that right now? I believe it's Fabian. Yes, he is, the IGL of the team and one of the new additions to Vitality. And he's actually watching that vertical as well, so he could also net a free kill depending...
It's that drone, yeah. He's trying to get the drone. I was like, what is he looking at? But he was aware. I know right now, once that hatch opened up from below, and that's exactly what Virtue tries to do. Just hoping to give some extra space, some extra play space, trying to contest the person in attic, making it a bit easier to get control. Citizen was already able to whip out that breaching charge. Like, if you're not going to be able to do it, Virtue, I'm going to do it for you. Luckily, he didn't have to, but that almost was a bit of utility wasted.
I'm wondering what took half the round for them to be able to get that open. I mean, they do have a Kali in hand. They've got grenades. They could grenade underneath. They've got Ash charges to go underneath. So I'm wondering whether or not they were trying to get a free kill. Maybe that's what they were trying to bank on here. Virtue holding those long-range SPS MG9. Probably not the ideal way for a Kali to go. She has a long-range weapon as a primary. But nonetheless, the rotate will now happen. They've opened up attic, and now they'll go over to bedroom and try and open that up. But look at the setup of Vitality. They want to challenge bedroom as well.
Really quickly taking care of those two ADSs there, actually. Yes, the shield now will be opened up as well. Now he's going to be allowing G2 to move on to their eventual execute. Now, 50 seconds will be left. We see multiple of these shields being destroyed. the Electroplan will be pinged with a ping 2.0 system, and that means right now the Ace is going to be able to deploy the Selmas. As soon as they go off, that means that the execute is truly in progress because, well, look at the control they have. They can take Attic, they can take games. There's not much more than they have than that, and that means they will have to do with it in these last dying 30 seconds. And the Citizen is just waiting, making sure no flank can come through. The smoke canisters of the smoke will be used to make sure that that plant isn't happening yet, trying to stall as long as possible. Hungry, however, will go down by the hands of the CSRX. That's the big sniper rifle on the board, and that means no more smoke canisters will be deployed. And that also will mean that in these last 10 seconds, Bengal will go down onto that plant now. Another CSRX kill to come through. Actually, no. And the 3-3 happens. Kanto coming in. Uno with the cover. 45 seconds will be on the clock. It's up to Goga and Bibu to try and get this defuse going. They need to find 3 kills, and it will start off with 1. Bibu to take down Kento. Whilst Uno and Pangu are the 2 remaining on G2 for these last 30 seconds.
Post-player positions are great. Uno will flick onto the head of Goga, and now it's all up to Bibu. One of the fraggers of Vitality. He could actually long arm this. Is anyone prepared? That's 2 seconds. That's 3 seconds. Oh, he gets off the defuse. He knows someone's running in double window. 10 bullets. He did it with 7 before, but none can do the job. And the retake won't happen. And G2, they're very, very lucky that Rise didn't peek top white there, swing out and pre-fire into that smoke. And that was the only way that Pegu could get that plant down inside of that game's room. Lucky one there, Hap, if you ask me. Players were there, ready to go from Vitality to stop this, but it was almost as if Virtue Sniper was just hitting no matter where he looked.
Not just that. I also could have just stuck the defuse there. That would have been able to win the round for Vitality as well, but indeed, a bit of pressure was coming down. Doubt it was going to be quick enough before the actual defuse came through, but chose to go off nonetheless, and they found the consequences of that. As currently 1-0 is the score for G2. Starting off strong here on Oregon, considered a... Well, is it still considered a defense-sided map, really? Because we've seen quite a lot of variations on the scoreline after the first half, and we've seen it turn around sometimes as well, so... If anything... I believe we've seen BDS go flawless last half on their defense.
You want to see that for Vitality?
No, it's 4 rounds.
I mean, almost.
Well, it's not going to happen anymore.
I mean, they could try and get the rest of the rounds, but if I don't mind asking if Medics could please do a very close top-down view of the Valkyrie on the side of Vitality, because I think she's got something really nifty equipped there. Oh, damn, Hat. That's one of the new R6 share skins for the teams.
Oh, look at that.
Every team involved in the R6 share gets a skin, and Vitality's got their own on Valkyrie. And whew, man, I bought that so quick. I'm not gonna lie, I bought that so quick. In fact, I bought all of them so quick. G2 has their own. And that's on Jaeger as well, and hopefully we'll see that in the second half. But I just thought I'd point that out, how cool that is.
Oh, here it is. It's on Bibu, actually.
Bibu's got a rocket. Let's go.
Yeah, he's looking at. We're just selling out these skins, by the way. If you want to get them, get some O6 credits. You support the teams directly. So if you wanna, stand your team, you can do it in game now as well. Anyway, we're getting back into the round as round number 2 has come upon us. Virtue, again with the CSRX, is going to be losing 1 lance, and well, Citizen is going to lose his actual head.
I'm not sure whether or not Citizen had used his flashes or not. If we can get an extended view to just check that one out, Medics, if you don't mind. That way we know. We're not really able to see because he is dead, so we don't know whether he did cook those ADSs or not. Wamai's been banned, so that's really all they needed to deal with so that he can get his lances. But Uno says, I have direct entry onto Pillar. No one was challenging it. This could be really dire here for Vitality.
Putting up his drone in a position as well. Of course, knows his teammates will be there to try and counter as Hungry wants to go and deny any form of, well, hard breach that comes through. Pengu, of course, having the Selmas available to him. I believe he already used one of them. Could have been tricked out, not too sure. As indeed one has been used. Grenade now flying in, a bit of damage being done to Rise, but not enough to start things off. And with 90 seconds, they need to get some grip soon.
Uno's in such a key spot here. He knows he can start zooming these air jabs out. Bibu's on a slither of HP thanks to the prowess of some of those G2 players over near Pillar. Now that the walls start opening up, they have over a minute left to deal with this. One of those Selmas on the wall got a bandit trick before, and Hungry wants to go for round 2, and he'll get it. Good shots from Pengu coming out on the ace, but he'll also stand all in the smoke. 25 HP as he runs through all of that toxic gas canister. And now they've got less than a minute left. They know someone's playing behind shield, and it's a very lit up Bibu. Lancers will fly out, no ADSs to contest, and now they're going to have to go for the plant. This is the time to do it. Everyone's looking back at them. They've got to hit their shots.
Pengu trying to go out, but a C4 will rain in. It's going to be the double kill to come through from Hungry, but you know we'll be there to try and respond. It's not going to be lasting long though as Rise comes back, slaps Virtue and Uno off the map. It's Vitality that will win the first offensive round. Look at that shot of the Caesarax. Just missing or hitting that R maybe of Rise. That is basically the only spot to get it with the legs, that it's not going to be a one-shot down. And Vitality able to pick that one up, but it was coming for a long time. A lot of time was being wasted. There was only one drone alive on the likes of G2 after like the 1 minute mark. So not much information for them to work on. All they could do is really just hold angles, try and go for a plan, bait out the utility. But as they did that, that C4 came in. The C4 that basically ended the round. That was already over.
Well, now they'll try Meeting and Kitchen, and yet again another 6-pick onto the Kali, which is smart because for the most part you want to try and use your 6-pick every round you can to play a little bit of mind games. It's free. Both teams get 1 6-pick a round. Why not use it? It doesn't cost you anything, and you might be able to play a little bit of mind games with your opposition, get them to think, get them to do their own 6-picks. Of course, Vitality did their own. They'll 6-pick over to the Valkyrie, and I think for the most part when Rise was on Valkyrie before, I think he did quite well with her. I think they had a lot of intel in multiple parts of the map, and so it really worked for them. But here's another fun fact. So far, Oregon has a 62.5% pick rate in EUL. Nearest contenders are Cafe, Consulate, and Clubhouse with only 12.5% pick rate each. That's huge. That means that these teams, for whatever reason that might be, are really favoring Oregon in all of their play days thus far. This may change, but
let me tell you, over APAC and EU together, it is a 57.1% pick rate on Oregon. So, yeah, APAC had its fair share as well, 50% that is. Of course, tomorrow another day. Friday we have Challenger League. So we're going to see how much Oregon we're going to get the first week.
You would almost think there were only 2 maps in the map pool when you read something like that, but there are so many more to work with. Many that G2 are actually quite good at. I was looking over my stats before, actually, and this is a real good map for Vitality and not so much for G2. I mean, if I look at their Oregon stats, when they played it that one time, they banned it 12 times. They actually lost it. But if we look at Team Vitality's stats on Oregon, it's one of their best maps. They've won it 3 times, tied it once, and only lost it once. One of their least fair maps. So it's not a surprise to see Vitality doing quite well here on Oregon. But G2, I think they're prepared for Vitality.
They should be, but they're definitely struggling with these KI charges as Barbwire has to go first, the drone will follow, and that will force Fabian to fall back just a little bit. Trying to recover that electric claw, making sure it will not be shot, and thus replacing it into the safe side of that wall. Zuno, he's like, I swear it was there just a second ago. I'm not sure where it actually went, but it'll be tempted to swing in right after. They're just going to have to try and get rid of these electric claws, though, and it's going to be quite hard to do so, but the Kali will definitely get its job done now, because while that was the original reason why the electric claw was on the other side, the Kali explosive lens wouldn't be able to pass, but they found a way around it.
That was the right thing there from Fabian. I think he did a good job, but G2, they read all into that. Once they found it, they were able to get that Kali lance right up in the corner, and now they've got over a minute left. Meeting's open. That's where the default plant happens. Citizen has top floor as well. He might actually rotate now, and Kanto, he's making sure that no one's going to have that attic control to get that verticality. That's what you need to make sure. So I'm pretty sure, yes, Penga will open up attic. Once he opens this up, someone can watch it. They can go for the plant with the smokes of the assist of Ace. And then there's pretty much no way to counter it except for, I guess, smokes of Hungry, maybe a C4 of Goga or Fabian, but they can bait that out with over 30 seconds left.
They do indeed have enough time, but while there is still 3 smoke canisters in hand of Hungry, Citizen is in a really good position though. He's going to be basically denying anybody moving up onto Attic and denying anyone, well, who tries to contest Attic of G2, as he will be able to pick up the first kill. That is indeed happening near the Attic area, but Fabian will be able to respond. Virtue goes down. Pengu is looking to get that plan down, but the last smoke canister will be popped in as we speak. Kanto able to get a grenade in, but the ADS was still there. It's going to be a 3-on-3 situation as Fabian response is going to be able to get another down before he will be down by Pengu himself, who goes down straight after. It's a 2-on-1 situation. It's all up to to Citizen now. Wasn't able to get the final kill as, well, Nomad's body was in the way. Bullets did not pass through, and because of that, not able to turn it into that 1v1 he might be wishing for. And that results into Vitality taking the lead right now into round number 4. As 1-2 will be that scoreline if Vitality manage to pick up, well, let's say 2 more rounds. They're going to be finding themselves in a very good split.
I have to give a shout out to Fabian there. He played that absolutely perfectly. He knew he was getting challenged above on the hatch. He dealt with that pressure. He'll punch up outside the bomb chassis. He got it down onto Pengu, and unfortunately, that was the diffuser holder. And even if you try and plant next to a person of your teammate who's down, and you try and use the same hotkey, it'll pick the player up instead of go for the plant. So they tried to dispatch a Fabian. He had too many angles going for him. That was a good, I guess, counter adaptation to the execute going down, is him dealing with the hatch first. G2, however, that was the perfect setup. That was the perfect execute. Citizen had upstairs on lock. It really just came down to Fabian's play there. And if I'm Vitality, you don't want to be relying on one player. You need the rest of the players to also be able to put a spanner in the works of the execution. So maybe we'll see whether or not this round plays out for them. This is a hard site to hold. I don't have the percentages here of the win. I do have Team Vitality. However, if we look at their Oregon, you see the amount of times that they've been able to win this particular site, and we go down to, what'll be a dining and kitchen? They've won it 3 times and only lost it once. So they have a really positive win rate here on this particular site.
It definitely sounds positive indeed, and, well, I think if we just look back shortly at the last round, an extra 30 or, well, maybe even 15 seconds would have done wonders for G2. So it allowed them to bait out that utility just a little bit earlier, so they didn't just have to all push in at the last very second, allowing Fabian to go for the basically hero play he managed to pull off. But well, we are round number 4 now. Vitality is 1 ahead of G2. It's Goga and Fabian basically leading their old squad of well, Uno and Pengu. It's a 2v2 going out. Who will win it this time? Last time around, it was G2 who won it. This is going to be the revenge tour.
Kanto making good work of the small tower floor. This will give him the opportunity to make sure there's no wall denial, so Pengu can open up the wall, which will then give them access to the bomb site, the A bomb site you're seeing where Goga's attempting to challenge that one. Isn't it interesting that Vitality have players who switch among multiple operators on the same map? It was Fabian playing Kai before, and now it's Goga. Interesting that they're so flexible and they're so confident. I've seen 3 different players of Vitality play Valkyrie now. That's amazing flexibility.
Everybody feels a bit more comfortable on other, well, operators everywhere as Bibu goes quite low actually and will be taken down. Uno able to get that kill. Rise will be able to respond though. Kanto will go down. No more grenades available, but I believe they have been used to try and, well, dislocate Bibu's position. Showers now under control here as Uno spots out another player in the kitchen. I'm going to be able to... Oh, what a flick, actually! Uno able to pick up that kill beautifully. And that is the advantage right now for G2. Is he going to go for another one? Yes, he will. He will be picking up Rise as well before he gets down. But Fabian from these stairs, and he cannot finish the kill either. Citizen was there to respond. It's all up to Hungry now in a 1-on-3 situation effectively. Uno still down. Might be finished off by the smoke canister. He's going to be able to start off with at least one. Hunter Virtue came running out from the back. Bangu now with that plant, counter smokes coming out from the smoke himself, but he's not going to be able to land it quite just yet. And as you know, he's still down. Surely he will be recovered. He will be picked up soon. He's not functioning as a living drone for long, and well, as I say that, he's basically all alone. And it doesn't matter. Citizen is going to be able to pick up that kill. Hungry will be taken out, and G2 draw things up. It's a 2-2. Still with 2 more rounds to go.
This is the G2 we were waiting for. Last play day, I think Milosh and the others and the analysts said that, they weren't even at the wheel of the car, let alone, trying to drive. So I think this G2 we're seeing now, it's on a much higher upward trajectory than we saw them in the last matchup. It was in a real big slant. Like, I really felt for G2. This is the thing, is that I didn't think that first matchup was indicative of the team that they are. Now we're jumping into this matchup. We're seeing a really refreshed, revitalized Vitality. Excuse the pun. And of course, now they're putting a fight up to get to G2. I still think G2 is the better team. They were the most consistent team in stage 1. They're coming back into stage 2, having a little bit of a refresher after the mini major. And I think for the most part, they're just trying to get a feel for everything yet again. It's a different ballpark, I think, the regular season than it is a whole mini major. And now we're starting to see G2 as they are. Citizens popped off multiple rounds in a row. Uno, that flick that we saw in that round, as you called. I think this is showing that the players just needed a little bit of time to warm up.
Need some time to warm up indeed, and just losing out your first match doesn't mean the end of the season straight away. There is basically 8 more play days to play and 8 more opportunities to grab those 3 points, put yourselves on that top 4 position, qualify for the major with that side points, because, well, in the end, that is all it really revolves around in Siege. You want to go to the 6th Invitational. That is where the hammer will be lifted. That is where the title gets given. And, well, you need to perform in your own region now to make that happen, because it used to be majors. It still is to some degree, but it is right now in the current situation. Majority your placement as well.
Looks like Blue Bunker will be the first plan of attack here for G2. We've said this every time we've seen Oregon today, is that this is a key part of the bottom floor, especially when you're pushing this bottom floor site. G2 wants to make sure that they get control of it. And of course, if you're Vitality, you want to hold off on it for as long as you can. This position here that Rise is holding, that's the key position. That's the one that's being challenged by most teams. Seems to be the meta place to hold off on Blue Bunker, as well as the elbow area. Now they're cooking all those ADSs, and guess what? They're all gone. Now this is all G2's playground. Shield goes down. Gogo says, I'm out of here. He'll reinforce up the elbow wall, and they only really delayed, let's say, 40 seconds by the time that G2 made it there. So that's a success in G2's books if I've ever seen one.
I was going to say, they didn't really stall out too long. After all, they lost HP as well, and not really that much utility was wasted. I mean, it was utility that was going to have to be used anyway to clear out that shield. Nothing more, nothing less. It's a very efficient hit from G2. Right now, they have that pillar's control. The only issue is there is a shield in the way. That means they're not going to be able to peek through the long hallway as Rise gets a beautiful wall bang onto Uno. Very unlucky for, well, the IQ, who will no longer see the light of day during this round. The repeat fire coming in right there from Freezer, but will not be able to hit anything as of yet. And as we go into these last 70 seconds, they are trying to set themselves up slowly. Rise still alive, still fighting. C4 will be prepped. It's already ripped, so the sand queue doesn't get given away. That's a huge deal. Not everybody understands that all the time. They're like, why are you sitting out there with that C4? Well, it's to make sure they don't get that info. And as soon as they want to go for that plant, it will come sailing in, and it will be the kill confirmed to come through. But as we speak, it's Rise with a double kill. Who is the last man standing, I believe, to get away with Virtue now in a 2-on-4 situation. Are they going to be able to make this happen? 40 seconds. Shotgun blasts go in through. Penguin's afraid someone being there is going to be missing the pre-fire there, and that leaves it all up to Virtue, the new man on the block right here, but he's not going to be able to make it. Bibu shuts him down, and Vitality pick up yet another round.
Shout out to Rise there, who really made that work. He was getting pressured left, right, and center. The wall was being opened up by Pengu, and Pengu did a really good job of trying to open up a lot of lines of sight for his team. But Rise crouch walked forward, took advantage of the sledge, and then swung around and got another. And I think that just goes to show that under pressure, both of these teams are playing at the best of their ability. I just think Vitality are edging out G2 just a little bit. We could probably put it down to the fact that it is defensive-sided, and their 6th team player is that time. You spoke about it before. That's probably the best weapon that the defenders have oftentimes. And G2 played time really well. It's just when you got down to the last 30 seconds, there were a couple of Vitality players playing real smart, and Rise was one of them.
Rise was one of them indeed. A really big impact he had on that round. Even though he was half HP for the majority of it. First of all, a wallbang after that, able to just shut down anybody coming in from the little box room afterwards. No need to use that C4, no need to use those smokes. Rise is standing there, and he's standing steadfast.
Do they want the Go-Yo shield there this time? I know last
This
time it
time
was a
they do, it looks
contentious
like.
topic. You know, Rise said last time, no, move it. But this time, Rise, he's going to be a shieldless operator,
They're
and that's going to be
spicing it
Maestro.
up.
Yeah, and you know what? A little bit more intel will be helpful for Vitality. I think that's why we've been seeing them bring the Valkyrie, but they've been bringing an IQ now, and so the opportunity to have a cam that can't be destroyed by IQ is probably a safe bet, and it's also a longevity plan as well into the round. G2 are being very fast, so they need a cam that requires them to use utility that also needs to be used for the shield. So it's a pretty smart play.
It's a smart play indeed. You're going to be able to use that cam later on to either accept drones and start them from information, which is something G2 already struggled with. You're just going to be able to sap them down just a small bit if they want to be either going for some peaks or if they're going for an execute. But Uno and Virtue able to pick up 2 very quick kills as Hungry and Goga able to leave. Oh my god, no way that he got picked up from there. Was that floor bang or was that through the window? Either of those two. Impressive.
Well, Fabian claps back onto Uno, who's been having a monster of a game. Manages to get him from the hatch, I do believe. That was the hatch that was opened up from above kitchen. Virtue's low health as well, but he'll still keep his life and allow him to rotate over to the rest of his teammates. And I think the big thing here for Vitality is they lost a couple of key players early on. 2 plant denials. I believe Goga had a C4. Not entirely sure, but Hungry had smokes, both plant denial, and that means that this team is going to have to rely on their guns now. They don't have a C4 on Fabian, so this is all guns, Hap.
You have 2 impacts. If that's anything better, they're going to be able to... I mean, if Virtue would be going for a plant, for example, he's low HP, so the impact might be able to do the trick. 2 impacts close also add up to 100 HP. It's just a bit more time consuming and a bit more risky to actually aim them well. So most likely they're not going to be going for it. Indeed, they're going to have to go for their guns and maybe even the evil eyes if they're going to be able to still have them in proper positions to deny these plants. However, 60 seconds are on the clock and time is your biggest enemy as the attack. So you're not always going to be as surgical as you would like to be with that clock ticking down as fast as it does. Because right now the opening will be made into games. 45 seconds. Will it be enough for G2 to get that plan down? They seem to be having a clue about where these players are. Only Virtue is currently having any drones available to, and both are deployed on the battlefield. Both will probably be pre-placed as well. He's holding from below, just opening up some extra angles whilst pushing up these white stairs. Oh, there is someone prone down there. Definitely a jump scare for him. As Bibu shows up, we'll be able to get 2 kills. Rise will be able to pick up 1 as well. And suddenly it's all up to Virtue now in a 1-on-3 situation. Around this so well here for G2 as they managed to pick up the first initial 2 kills. Will be, well, ending in tears as Bibu shuts them down completely. Able to pick up 3 this round. And Vitality able to get quite a good split, so to say, for this half, for the 4-2.
Unbelievable to me that it's almost a good caster cursed, rather, is that we talk about the fact that they have no plant denial, so they have to rely on their guns, and Bibu says, say less. And he just goes on a killing spree. And it's not even that G2 had a bad plan. They were pinching the site. They were ready to go. They had the smokes on Pengu. Pengu had closet wall open. He was ready to go for the plant, and he had a bunch of teammates ready for the crossfire. Unfortunately, a lack of drones from G2, and I know Dez says this all the time about G2, that in the late round, G2 seems to have no drones. They're just running headfirst in the site, hoping that they can face check everything. And that's what happened in that round. Bibu took full advantage, was able to capitalize, and, well, sometimes guns really do the trick.
Sometimes they do indeed. After all, it's still a first-person shooter.
I mean...
It's in the name.
It's Anthox.
It's Antox, my Benelux homeboy. On my Christmas wish list is a pro team that bans Oregon. Now, you're going to be getting a lot of hate for this, sir. I can already tell you that. Des already got absolutely obliterated by the community. You have to say, I love Oregon. Otherwise, you're not one of the cool kids.
I'm impartial. I don't mind it. I don't hate it. Back when I was with Penta, we used to be the kings and queens of the old Oregon. And I used to love it. So there's a little soft bit of me that goes, yeah, Oregon's not too bad. But nonetheless, Vitality thinks it's not too bad either. And what a great drone here in the tier 2, almost tier 3. It's going to spot that beautiful G2 skin running all the way up to tier 3, and now they know they've got to deal with that first. It's Cantor Ricchetti, hoping he could snipe someone from afar.
Definitely going to be his goal. Using that 416 carbine. Hoping to be able to pick someone up or at least put down some pressure. It doesn't always have to be about getting the kill, right? Like, as long as he makes himself known, he will be hunted. Players of Vitality will be coming up to him. And if you're in T3, it is really... Oh, this is going to be unlucky. Look at him. He's going to be rotating down and will be picked up by Bibu. Should have just stuck up a little bit longer, buddy. As he has been taken down now. And the Citizen is the next one in the line of fire. Will be falling back as the drone has, well, basically alerted him about his location being spotted out. Vitality definitely starting off strong here.
Taking Cantor Ricchetti off the board, not too surprising to me. He's playing in a super volatile position on the map. He knew what was at stake. He knew his plan was to waste time. I think he did that pretty successfully. It would have been nice if he was able to take a life as well. But nonetheless, G2 can't be too mad. He did his job. And now it'll look to the site where there is a mirror awaiting them. What will be the biggest thing here for Fabian particularly is trying to get rid of one of those mirrors, because those mirrors can be such a detriment.
The mirror windows are indeed an issue if you want to be pushing them head on, because they're going to be having direct information on you. Together with a softball right next to it means the ability to pre-fire is often not really ideal if that is your plan of approach, trying to go head on with a black mirror. As Fabian right here will be spotted out. Seems a bit of a pre-fire. Will not be taking any damage, and as a rotate comes through. If you're looking at it, 5 drones still alive in his last minute. It's definitely better of a track record than G2 would have, and as I said, of course, 1 will be taken out, 2 actually. But they seem to be stalling out quite well on the side of G2. Flashbangs are being tossed in. They do not really have any control yet, and it seems like a laundry and freezer take is what will be upon our hands soon. And as these smoke canisters are being tossed out, that means no one will be pushing directly from the laundry side. And as we see that pre-fire attempt comes through from Virtue on the mirror window, not able to land anything. Gogo will be able to pick up Citizen. That's going to be extending the lead even further. So as Benga goes down, the next one falls as well. It's all up to Uno now. Vitality have the opportunity to take the lead and extend it here. Well, they already had the lead, but they definitely extended with a flawless round, as Rise will be shutting down Uno. And that's going to be G2's first defense shattered. Absolutely. Even though they managed to stall out quite long, didn't really seem to matter to Vitality in the end.
I cannot believe the game that Rise is having. I just can't underestimate all of these players on Vitality, and we said this in stage 1, we could call this an EU super team. You got Hungary, you got Bibi, you got Rise, you got Fabian, you got Goga. Fabian and Goga, I mean, look at that, 10 kills, 4 deaths. And it's not even that he's fragging out per se, it's that he is where his team needs him to be at all times as a flex player. He's been playing Valkyrie, he's been playing Nomad, so on and so forth. I think he's having a smashing game. It's really leading them to victory here. And for G2, they're not playing like they were on Monday, but they certainly are not playing to the level that we're seeing Vitality play to. And I think the biggest thing I can sort of look back to as an analyst as well is that the last time G2 played Oregon, they've only won bottom 4 once and lost it the other time. And for the most part, that's a pretty shaky statistic to have, to only have a 50-50 win rate. Not a lot of stats to look at, but it still shows us that as they go up to kids' dorms, they've never won top floor. G2's never won top floor. They've also never won dining and kitchen. So this doesn't bode well for them.
This is also showing something else, Jess. Are we seeing a revitalized Vitality coming in here?
Please. I said this in stage 1. I can't remember how many times. And I actually got a few haters because of this. I said, I think Vitality needs a whole stage. I think they need time. When you replace like an IGL, the leadership group of your team, it takes a long time, I know. And so we gave them a whole stage. We gave them the off season and boom. This is now Vitality.
Definitely something to be looking scared for, because they're gunning out so far. Rise having an incredible game, and well, Fabian also playing quite smart. Might not show in his numbers all the time, but he's definitely having a huge impact here, especially on the defense. Just quickly going back towards that round where he quickly juggled out the Electroclaw, and well, Hungary starts things off again. It's just you know, jamming out, taking out Uno. No worries.
Oh no.
Vitality on an absolute roll.
Last time it was Cantor Ricchetti on the Jaeger in Big Tower. Now it's Uno on Jaeger in Big Tower. I feel like I'm one of those announcers for the board game Clue. You know, in the bedroom with the candlestick. You know that game? You ever played that board game?
I don't think I have, actually.
Oh, you're so Dutch.
I'm serious. I'm 22, you know. I'm young as well.
And you're young as well. Okay, nonetheless, that's exactly how it feels here for Vitality. They go, it doesn't matter where you put the Jaeger on the map, we'll sniff him out and we'll end him.
It's almost like they have drones on them or something, you know? Like they know exactly where he's going to be coming from. There's Vitality right now with one man of an advantage. Trying to put themselves up onto the match point here. Pengu going close here with the shotgun. He's going to be missing 2 shots, giving away his position. That means they're going to be aware of the fact that he's close, and the Citizen will be joining him in that kitchen. We'll be giving him a long angle to rely back on, just in case the push will come through. There is going to be that, well, solid Britishman, the solid UK guy, UK massive as Des would like me to say, to show up. But it looks like Vitality, they've read the current situation. Houston, we know what's going on. And we're going to go for a bit of a rotate. The rotate has been called by Fabian, and side control is there. They've managed to get 1 kill. The plant can shortly go down. There's no one of G2 even close to try and deny it. As both Virtue and Kanto off the side, Fabian go down, but it's basically a sacrifice at this point, just to make sure that Goga can get that plan down. Pengu will go down. It's a 3-on-2 situation. Pengu, of course, can be recovered, but the time is ticking down. And you need 7 seconds to get that defuse going. That means within, well, 23 seconds from now, yes, they need to get that defuse going, because otherwise the round will be lost. And Vitality will be on match point. It's a 3-on-3 retake. Gogo will go down, but an instant trade comes in. It's Rice to go quite low himself as well, but as long as you're alive, it's not going to be too big of an issue. But as I say that, he will be going down. It's all up to Hungry now. He's going to find himself in a 1v2 situation. The sledgehammer comes in. That means his position will be known as well. Kento Ricchetti is going for the defuse in the meantime. Is he going to be able to stick it? Yes, he will be. G2 is going to be able to win the round right here because Kento managed to stick the diffuser. And that means that they will be fighting back for now. 1 round in, but they still have a bit to go before they're back on equal numbers.
A round that should have been Vitality's after a beautiful leadership call there. You could see at the moment that it just clicked in Vitality's head that they could not push meeting the way they wanted to. There was a shotgun up in their face. They had to deal with those Banshees, and it's almost as if they rotated so fast, G2 couldn't even come to terms with the fact that they were already in kitchen. The Malusi went down and boom, they were in. Unfortunate positioning there for Fabian. He was trying to cut the rotate back, which was a smart idea, but he got outgunned as a result. And G2 played like a fiddle. However, their retake skills, great, really well done. Unfortunate for Hungry there, he actually did a bit of a fake at the end, which actually was really well timed. Unfortunate that Keto pros don't fake.
Pros do not fake, indeed. They you gotta stick it to believe, and it was the right choice here as well, because, well, if you go off, there's a chance, of course, you lose the gunfight.
Yeah.
There's a chance you're not going to be able to actually get the defuse done, but the gunfight is actually done. And, well, he knew exactly where he was. There was almost not a single way for him to be in time to actually make sure to get a shot onto Kanto. He tried. He failed. And that means G2 managed to get that defuse done. That's what matters in the end. It doesn't matter how rough it is, as long as you win the round in the end, and as long as you win the match in the end. He can always look into it to improve for the next one out.
I think that's a big thing to say about G2 as well, is that, okay, they might be losing this particular matchup, and they had a bad game on Monday as well, but it's plays like that that show that the team is a very coordinated team, even if they don't show it. I think the big thing for G2 is that they trust each other. There's good leadership in the group. I mean, as we saw there, they say, okay, go for the defuse. I got you, just stick it. And a lot of other teammates on newer teams, even Vitality, for example, they might turn around and go, oh, can I trust my teammate to check every angle? You can't question it. And I think that's what makes G2 so coordinated. We just need to see a little bit more from them. And in fact, if Vitality win the next round half, I mean, well, good C4, won't connect. But if they win the next round, that guarantees them at least 1 point.
There's no overtimes indeed here in the European League. And that is indeed going to be guaranteeing them 1 point that they might have not been able to, well, they might have not expected when the season started, because I'm not sure, you're a coach. Are you making a like a planned pre-season being like, all right, we need 3 points against these guys, like it's okay if we draw, that we consider it as a win, or do you just go into every single one separately?
I mean, back when you... good shot from Pengu there onto the stairs. There was a little bit of a line of sight. But no, generally, your plan, back when auto bans used to be a thing, where the last map you played, you couldn't play it again, you could make a plan like that. You could play a map that you wanted auto banned for the next week, and you could be strategic that way. In this current iteration of Pro League / EUL, you cannot do that. Any map is on the board. You have to play your best at any time. And now there's 3 stages in a year. So if you consistently get lower and lower and lower in your points, you're going to struggle to make it even to SI, to the major, to anything. So you got to stand up, and you got to stand up quick.
Goga very aggressive right here on the angle, and walking closet. Let's put a bit of damage onto Virtue, but nothing too final yet, as G2 setting themselves up well. A good pre-fire from Rise is going to be able to remove him. Brings it back a bit closer for Vitality, able to potentially fight back here. It's going to be the Goyo shield that blows up, and that will force Pengu out of the fight for just a little bit, as he's not going to be able to peek aggressively or toss out any smoke canisters. As Rise seems to be aware of the fact that one is white stairs. It's going to be Vitality to, well, slow things down for now. They're rotating. They're going to be trying to approach different avenues. And as the utility slowly being used in different positions, making sure that as soon as they peek out, they will be air-jabbed. They will be tossed away. And as I said, Uno able to toss Rise away. Instant response though, Bibu able to pick up Pengu. 15 seconds left. The plant needs to go down soon, and that means Bibu needs to go in because he's the last man standing. 10 seconds left. Able to pick up one huge kill, but he doesn't know that there's a second one right there on the white stairs. And as he spots it, he sees him in the peripheral view, but he's not quick enough to actually respond. Citizen is going to be able to pick him up. The pistol to secure, and G2 is going to be here to pick up yet another round and to start that comeback to try and get back to 5-5. Fight for the win and not for the draw.
They need the next 2 rounds in a row to ensure that they put themselves on the match point. Otherwise, Vitality, well, looks like they'll at least get a win or a draw point, as G2 are showing a lot more success here on the defense. At the very least, we're having those key players, I guess, stand up. It wasn't just Uno on attack. Now we're seeing multiple players here on the defensive side for G2 step up and do what's needed. You can see the score there, Rise. We just kept talking him up in the first half, and now that we're getting into the second half, he's had a few successes, not the same as he did on defense, but now we're seeing a really level-headed playing field from both teams here. It's not just 1 or 2 players stepping up. I feel like all of the players are stepping up. Now what we need this round is for the Jaeger to stay alive a little bit longer for G2. I think that's what's really been crippling them, is that the Jaeger, with the time delay, hasn't really been having the effect they want. Do they roam again solo, Candy Raketti, or do they decide to play
There's
him
another solution.
Different? What?
Don't play him in tower.
I mean...
From Soul.
Yeah, look, tower's been a problem area for G2, so sure.
Especially for the Jaeger as soon as he's been playing it. Didn't really work out. But hey, they're getting back at it. They're getting back into that match right now, and as the mirror windows are being deployed, actually they got cancelled.
Did he
As they
decide
actually
otherwise?
put it down. I think he decided otherwise because one was already on. I'm not too sure. Questions.
Maybe he'll place it later when they work out exactly where the push is coming from. And I like that. I mean, we see Bride on BDS. He consistently moves his shield as a smoke to different positions depending where the attackers are pushing from. Maybe that is the plan for Virtue here. Maybe he goes, hang on, I don't really want to set this down if they don't end up pushing bunker.
Yeah, last time indeed they didn't really peek it. So just keep it in hand just until you know where to come from. And look at that. That's Nomad gone. Citizen able to pick up that kill. And we'll be playing into the tower now with Melusi, and Bibu is going on the hunt right here. The question is, do they have drones? Are they aware of the Melusi's current position? Or is Citizen going to be able to drop yet another one, put him on the ground? As a bit of pressure from that is actually going to be coming through, but it's going to be giving away his position as well. A pre-fire will be attempted, a C4 will be coming out, it's going to be creating a rotation for him as well. It's going to be able to pick up yet another kill. Fabian will go down. The question is there support on the back of Attic? Because the support is definitely arriving now. It's the cavalry, but the cavalry will be shut down. It's Bibu to go and drop on the floor. It's going to be Hungry, however, to shut down Cantu. Wants to come and support on Citizen, but it's going to fail to do so. Fabian will be executed. It's all up to Hungry now. Can Hungry secure this kill, or will he go down? The grenade will be in a bit of an awkward position right here. Pre-fire will come, but will fail to land. And the Citizen stays alive right here. A lot of time is being wasted, actually, for Hungry. He needs to fall back to go for a reload. That gives the opportunity to Citizen to actually put himself into a better position. But at that moment, the nade gets cooked. Gets put back into the pocket. Citizen rotates out. Goga is near to side. And Hungry will have to join him. Hungry will have to join Goga as he is going to get surprised and dropped. 60 seconds left, and this round will only end one way.
What a shame here for Hungry Citizen. He was a one-man show all by himself up in tower. And in fact, the moment that the Jaeger joined him, the Jaeger got dropped. So it's the curse of the Jaeger and Big Tower. But looks like all they needed was Citizen on the Malusi. He could do it all on his lonesome. And for the most part, the G2 players on site really didn't have to do anything. In fact, once they had a crouch walking Thermite, I believe it was, walking into side, the Banshee gave away his position and it was all over. A very dominant round there from G2, really off the back of Citizen, who's been quite a star player on multiple rosters now. And that's a good round. This is a game, Hap. G2 just need to warm up in the first half. They're here to play. They're here to show they deserve the points. We just need to see how many points they're going to get.
Definitely so. They're still pointless right now, G2, onto this current stage. So anything would be a win, but of course they want to go for those 3 points. They don't want to settle for anything less. We know what their opinion is on the current draws in the league, and this will have to try and get that 7-5 right now. 2 more rounds in a row. You've just done it. You can do it again. Many believe in you. Many fans stand behind you. And is that a G2 player without a G2 skin on Uno?
Unbelievable.
What is this?
What is
Carlos?
that?
Fire the man right now. He's not even repping you.
Someone give this man a G2 skin code, please. Give this man the set. Oh. What can you really say, though?
Disappointing. Disappointing.
You know what else
That
is
is
a bit
probably the reason
disappointing?
why they lose it.
Yeah, I mean, something I wanted to point out, and it's been publicly discussed a few times about the G2 lineup, is that Virtue, when they brought him out from Australia, they moved him over. He didn't have the best of seasons, but then his trajectory as a player and his performance went up significantly after, moving to Germany and from Australia. It's a long way, different language, different time zones, and after a while, he got used to it and he started to perform better. I'm a little bit upset to see him as a full support flex player, because Virtue, when he played in Australia, he was a fragger, and he was a really good fragger. That's why G2 brought him all the way from Australia. So a bit sad to see him not able to unleash his full force.
How are you going to fit 4 fraggers on a team, though? That's the big question, because while Citizen, I believe he still holds the current record of amount of frags in a Pro League game. Uno and Kenta, of course, we've all seen the moments they managed to put on the board and on the screen. So yeah, well, someone is going to be having to play on that support role at some point. Pangu already volunteered for that. Virtue's the next one to follow. It's the hard life of 4 fraggers in a team.
Oh well. Looks like this time they'll have the Yokais in hand. We'll give them a lot more information where they need it. This is a tricky side to hold, and as you can see, Kanto is already being flashed out. He won't be able to bandit trick that wall anymore. And if you think about it, the only way that they're able to get this wall with the new jammer, they don't have a Kali, they don't have a Maverick, so they're using nades from all the way over on the window. Last time we saw Vitality play Oregon, which was on Monday, Hungary played the grenades and got rid of all the wall denial from the roof. This strategy is really smart. I don't know if it's come from the players or from their coach Luluin, but the way that they can use grenades to get rid of, denial from any part of the map is really intelligent and innovative.
My turn.
Even got more impressive with the new fragmentation system, of course, as they spread further and go through multiple layers of wall or plywood. That drone is going to be spotting out Uno, and that's a pre-fire to come in, but it doesn't matter. The man just clicks up the head of Hungry right there and moves himself further into the attic, but he doesn't seem to be knowing, I believe, that he is getting pushed. As Rice wants to go for that refrag, but he has to be careful. He has no clue where Uno currently finds himself. As right now they're trying to set themselves up to actually go for a plant. They need to make sure that this control will stay there. Rice gets a bit of a tag onto Uno, and there comes the bullet hole again. Oh, it's actually Virtue from Mo that will be able to get the kill. Oh, another one to come through right as the reinforcement explodes, and that's going to be all up to Fabian now. In the 1v5 situation, able to find one to start things off. It's Citizen to fall. He needs to find forward or a beautiful headshot onto the second. It's Uno to follow into the grave as Citizen falls first. The diffuser is still down. He still needs to recover. Does he know someone is on the left? No, he does not. Fincher will be coming up with a huge round right here. Able to get a triple kill. And as you just spoke about how big of a fragger he is, this is definitely a caster curse, because you cursed him, well, you cursed Vitality against him because he managed to pick up these 3 kills.
It's such a beautiful thing to be able to say that someone has so much potential and they're not able to unlock it, and then he just puts it on display for everyone to see. I mean, who needs replays when you've just got someone who can absolutely splash it across everyone's screen? So I've got a little cheeky smile on my face as an Australian myself. I'm very glad that Virtue has done quite well for himself. For most of the rest of the game, we've seen him underperform, but that's what he's capable of. That's exactly what he's capable of. But guess what? There's 2 things to point out here, Hap. 1, G2 has points on the board. Second game, so not that bad. They'll at least have 1 point depending how this round goes. And number 2, Hungry, a shield? I mean, we've seen this one before.
This is exactly what we said before. In the first stage, they relied a lot on the Monty to be able to get at least some points in to make sure they wouldn't be ending in that relegation danger zone. And right now, it is 6-5. They've lost, well, was it 4 rounds in a row? They definitely have been, and it's going to be making things a bit tricky here. Vitality, they feel it slipping. They're choosing to opt to go for that Monty now. As there has been they have been relying on it in the past. And they have been able to get some good results with it in the past as well. So, as the Monty will come out again, will this be the 6-6 that Vitality is hoping to achieve right now? Because they were 5-2 in front, and then G2 slapped back.
G2's got the real prime position here. Their defensive-sidedness is shown here on Oregon. They're very happy to themselves that they don't have to go to any kind of OT, and they've got defense to finish this off on. Citizen will be the one to play the Jaeger this time, challenging that small tower. Horrible experience in big tower for G2 for the most part with their Jaegers. This time, hopefully, there's better opportunities for them in small tower. Goyo as well, lots of those shields plastered around the site. And you can see Kanto and Citizen running around together. I like this. If they buddy up, they can always ensure that they have that trades that they need. Valkyrie cams as well. Everything going into the hands of G2 here. What we need to see from Vitality, will that shield be what they need to grab at least 1 point from this match?
It's indeed the case. The focus, the thing, the wish that Vitality want. Are they going to be able to use that shield to get that 1 point? Or is G2 going to be able to get the full 3? They're droning everything out. You see the shield jab there blocking any forms of line of sight that might come through. Citizens playing quite aggressive in the meeting room. Surely it will be droned out by any of these drones that Vitality is currently playing with, but it seems like they're more focused on removing any players from the boom bets right there. Just making sure no one will be on the direct A bomb site, which gives you the opportunity to actually go for a plant later on. And as I say that, Fabian hits a Goyo shield, but look at Uno, look at Citizen. They're ready to go for a flank right here. They're setting themselves up to go together. Rise is while cycling through those drones. An air jab comes in, he will be shut down, and so will Citizen be, as a double kill comes in from the likes of Vitality. Fabian is quite low, but he's still alive, and that means the gun is still firing as Hungry moves through with that smoke. Ash charge is coming in, the pressure is on right here for G2. Pengu falls as well. No more smoke canisters to try and stall this down. It's going to be Virtue to at least respond to it. Drop down onto Rise. It's going to be a 4-2 situation. The next one gets spotted out. It's going to be able to land that kill. Yes, he will. It's going to be people, however, to respond. It's a 1-on-3 situation. Virtue, you have to show your worth right here. You have to show that you're going to be able what G2 needs. You're going to have to be the anchor that G2 needs to make sure that they secure these 3 points. Luckily for him, it's Hungry to have that diffuser. He can shoot out these feet if he's careful enough. Yes, he will get the down. And all you have to do now is fall back. Just sit tight. Hold back. They have to come to you. They have to plant that diffuser. They open up everything below. You can literally go below and take them out, Virtue. Are you aware of what's happening? The revive came through. The plant will come through. 45 seconds on the clock. The man will get a hit with a hip fire shot onto that Monty with a TF5 SMG. Goes for the retake now, 1-on-2. This is a very intense moment here for G2. Bibu goes down. He will be able to get that kill to quad kill. Will he go for the ace clutch right here? Will he be able to save G2 and go for the 3 points? And that's exactly where he is right now. He will fall. It's Goga to get the final kill with the 5-7. And the Monty indeed is carrying them across the line. Managed to stall out enough, give enough information, be a nuisance. And because of that, both will go home with 1 point today.
That round gave justice to that entire matchup. That round was the justice I think Vitality deserved after that comeback from G2 all the way up to a 6-6. That was very intense, almost a clutch ace there from Virtue. Not enough. I spoke him up. He did damn well in a couple of last rounds, but not enough to secure the 3 points. They'll walk away with one apiece, which is probably deserving considering the absolute massacre we saw on both sides there have.
It's definitely a big massacre we've seen, and well, Virtue almost able to clutch it out, just wasn't able to hit that final flick. And man, that was a very exciting one. I'm still trying to catch my breath right here. It was a very intense moment. Let's just toss it over to our analysts so they can do the speaking here.